Hello and welcome to another edition of the Skycast, a sort of Sky Sports fantasy football version of the FPL focused Scoutcast. Today we're looking ahead to game weeks 17 and 18 in the Sky game, which take place between November the 30th and December the 7th. It's a tightly packed schedule, that's an understatement. It takes in 8 potential captaincy hauls, or 8 captaincy blanks, whichever, whether you're a glass half full or empty kind of person, in just a 10-day period, no let up. My name is Joe, and joining me to look ahead of this tough round of games is Luke. Luke, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Not a great week in Sky this for me. So my team needs a bit of a refresh. So yesterday I had some time to sit down and go through a plan really for this hectic schedule. So feeling a little bit more confident moving forward, I think.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, I'm gonna put a picture. It's probably maybe Emery on the phone to you there. I don't know, but we're gonna just put a picture up now. It shocked me when I put it up as well. There we go. It's just too many fixtures. Game weeks 17 and 18. It's quite a lot to get your head around. Then you've also got to think about the rest of the Christmas fixtures coming up as we sort of ease our teams into the second overhaul, which takes place early next year. So I think the best way to do it really is sort of have a sort of rough captaincy guide to get the discussion going really, and hopefully better answer these two questions. So Dan Cox, who has won the Sky game, says simply, who are your captains for next week? And Hornet says, can we skip the Arsenal captaincies? Hornet posted that before it was announced that Emery had left his post at Arsenal, and Freddie Lundberg has taken over temporarily, as far as I understand. So let's just rattle through them then. Okay, I'll go first with Saturday. I'll say the sort of good ones, and then you can kind of fill in. So we'll start off. So on the Saturday, I think there's plenty of choice. Liverpool against Brighton, so Mane, good choice there. City v Newcastle, I think the City assets could be good there. Chelsea against Roberto's West Ham, so any Chelsea asset could be good. Spurs against Bournemouth, those with Kane early may be looking good. What do you think? Lots of choice. Who's your captain that day?
There's so much choice that day, isn't there? You could even argue. Well, back in the day, you could have captained Van Dijk on a day like this, and you'd be sitting there with 20 points, very likely. So this season, maybe not. But Brighton have really struggled for goals. So I'm really hoping they come through with a clean sheet this time. Spurs, obviously, you've got Son as well that you could look at. Lucas Moura, even
Yeah,
potentially. There is so many picks. I mean, you have the benefit of seeing the Man City lineup because it's the early kickoff. So sometimes when that happens, it's actually quite good just to pick your captain from there because at least you know for sure they're playing. Obviously, with so that is something to consider. However, the likes of Mane, Kane, we've had no information they'll be out. So for me, I'm going to be going with Mane. I think it's
yeah.
the safest choice probably, and potentially the most explosive. I think.
Snap. Mane for me as well. I'm going for him. I could change, but at the moment, yeah, Mane's the one I favour. Okay, moving over to Sunday. Arsenal, new look potentially. Arsenal against Norwich. Suddenly Aubameyang looking a bit better, maybe. Leicester against Everton. Suddenly Vardy looks good. Manchester United there against Villa. So Rashford, great option. Who's the Sunday captain choice for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I wish I had them, but both Vardy and Rashford look great picks to me. They look like the two that you'd really want. They're getting the bonus for the shots on goal all the time. Both potentially on penalties. Um, and Villa conceding a lot of goals. Everton worry me because they could. I think they are top for expected goals conceded away from home, as in one of the best teams away from
Yes,
home
they are.
defensively.
We
Yeah,
mentioned it
which
for our FPL captaincy video earlier in the week. Exactly that. Really worrying. They're conceding a lot, but the expected stats say they've been really unlucky. So
mm.
yeah,
So I think for that reason, I might just slightly err on the side of Rashford. However, with Leicester, they're in such good form that you'd expect they'd just be able to pile through that and probably end up doing the job on them as usual. So I think you're in a good position there, Jokes. I think you've got Rashford, haven't you,
I've
after
got
last
Rashford
week?
and Vardy. So one of
Yeah.
those two. Not sure which yet. Default
I
really.
mean,
Vardy, got to be.
yeah. I mean, I've got Aubameyang. I've held him all this time, which was probably a mistake
Yeah.
um, in hindsight. But I think now is the time where if you have kept him all this time, we're just heading into the point where, well, first of all, obviously the manager's been sacked, so we could see an uplift in form or things change around. We just don't know. And then also you've got those single match days which are just on the horizon. So I think if you've held all this time, the mistake would probably be to get rid now. I think because these are the sort of single days where we hope he can hit a brace or a hat trick, and suddenly it doesn't matter that he was outscored for weeks on end, because you could be sitting with a 50-point haul or something, which everyone knows you can get in Sky. So that's where I'm at. However, if you have got rid of him and now you're looking at bringing in an Arsenal player, that's a different decision. I think a very tough one, which I don't know if we're coming to later.
Well, we will later, and I just wanted to say that Dexter Johnson in the live chat feed at the moment, it says very question: what about Lacazette and and is it Aubameyang for us? So yeah, we'll come to that a bit later. But suddenly Lacazette could be a better option, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Monday, we can take a break. No captain needed that day. No matches. And then on the Tuesday, so as we rattle through all these captaincies, Tuesday, got to be City assets away to Burnley, isn't it?
It has, I think. I don't think many people will have any players from the other teams in their team. Potentially Pope, but I mean, you're not gonna captain him against Man City unless you're very brave. So yeah, we have the added benefit of again seeing the team sheets there. So that's always very helpful when it comes to Man City. So it's going to be Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne, I would have thought, and a few people maybe punting on Jesus.
Yes. Now I've got. I have Pope at the moment. Obviously, I'm not going to captain that day, and he is a slot there that could be replaced. So we'll come to that a bit later about transfer plans. But I know you have mentioned Henderson before, and Sheffield United are looking quite good going forward for those sorts of very few matches taking place on particular days. So it's an option for me there. But yeah, as we keep rattling through, Wednesday, more matches. Leicester against Watford, Chelsea against Villa, Liverpool against Everton. That's a lot of choice again. Yeah, who's it for you that day?
I mean, Vardy jumps straight out, doesn't he? Leicester home to Watford.
Yeah,
it's got to be him. I don't have him, but I will have him by that time, I think, in my plan. So I think Vardy's a standout. Then obviously Chelsea home to Villa. If you've got the likes of Tammy Abraham, even Tomori again could be on for a 10-pointer there, double to 20. So there's certainly options if you don't have Vardy. However, Vardy is just complete standout with the Merseyside derby, Liverpool, Everton. We know what they're like. Anything could happen. Everton could actually turn up to a match for one.
Yeah, definitely. I noted that. So Liverpool against Everton that day as well. That's a really tricky one to call. So yeah, those without a Leicester assets and stocked up on Liverpool might consider some kind of move down the line there. Let's move on to Thursday. Sheffield United against Newcastle, Arsenal against Brighton. So I think Aubameyang, possibly Lacazette are going to be the wisest choices. But I just wonder whether Henderson against Newcastle could be a nice cheeky captaincy that day. What do you think?
Yeah, indeed. Everything that we know about Sheffield United suggests that they're very likely to, or at least have a very good chance of a clean sheet in that. So if you've got a captain, be that Dean Henderson or one of the defenders, then you're probably onto a decent start. It's so tricky to call the Arsenal thing right now. We just don't know whether Lacazette and Aubameyang are even going to play in the same team anymore. If it was under Emery, I would say that Lacazette might be the better pick for that game, but now we just don't know. So, yeah, as I said before, I've held on to Aubameyang, so I'll still be holding him, and he'll probably be my captain in that game unless there's any information that tells me that he's not first choice or anything stupid like that, which I can't imagine will be the case.
Yeah, that is the wisest move. And as we hop into game week 18, so we're back, more matches. So everyone can take a break on Friday, and then Saturday we've got Chelsea against Everton, Spurs against Burnley. That's ones I've picked out there. So those who are making a move, perhaps for Kane or Son, that could be quite a good option. Lucas Moura as well could be an intriguing differential captain. And of course Chelsea against Everton, you would think that those with Abraham, possibly we'll find out today about the injury situation there. But Tomori could be a good bet there. What do you think? I haven't decided yet on that day, because it may be a player I might bring in, like a Spurs player. But what do you think for that day?
Yeah, I've jotted down Mane for now. I think just away to Bournemouth is still a pretty good game for him. But like you, I'm eyeing up Harry Kane, because Spurs have got so many so many days moving forward where they've got a really nice fixture
Yeah,
on a day where they look like they might be the best
yeah.
captain pick. So Kane or Son, I think, is going to be coming into my team. It might be before this date, or it might be after. I've got two options there, so I guess I'll see where we're at that point.
Okay, on Sunday, a few more games. I picked out Leicester against Villa. Got to be Jamie Vardy that day, surely.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else you can really mention on that day, is there?
Nah.
Is clear standout. Soyuncu, if you've not gone down Vardy
Yeah.
route, will also be a good pick.
And then finally, at the end of all of this, if we're still standing, West Ham against Arsenal on the Monday, just the one match. Aubameyang, surely, if you've got him, blokes like me
Yeah,
who don't want any West Ham players, and I'm not sure I want any Arsenal players. What on earth do we do? Do we get an Arsenal
well,
player in, or
um, again, it's going to be so tricky to answer now. However, we'll have a couple of games before that to
yeah,
see what Arsenal are like. But I do think it is an option to ignore that game, considering Arsenal's
okay,
away form in general
yeah.
has been absolutely shocking. So unless this new manager could completely overhaul how they're playing, then yeah, I think it's valid to ignore it. To be honest with you,
Yeah, before we were going on now, I was having a look at some Arsenal options there because I do like to have a captain each day if I can. But I was looking through there. So if you don't, not sure I want to get rid of any of my strikers, especially not for an Arsenal striker. But I was looking at some of the other options and it's pretty bleak really. So I could get Leno in possibly. I mean, he's had a few bonus here and there. I could get Guendouzi in once again. I mean, yeah, exactly.
there's nothing, is there?
There's nothing. I mean, once
There's
you
nothing.
get,
Let's not ham it up. They've got the week after, so they play Man City at home, and then they play Everton away straight after that as well. So you're not even getting like a good little run of fixtures after it either.
yeah,
So if you're at that point and you still don't have an Arsenal player in your team, I would strongly consider just ignoring it.
yeah, West Ham too. I don't want to go anywhere near. If I did go, if I did in my second team, I might get a West Ham player. How about that? I might get someone like Antonio or Snodgrass
Indeed,
or someone
and
who can. Yeah,
If Pellegrini's gone by that point, again, we might have another decision to make. But
I could get basically a midfielder who might get me some kind of tackling, passing. Who knows? I might even go down the dreaded. This is the dreaded route of Mark Noble, who has been quite good in Sky for me in recent years. But yeah, anyway, bottom of barrel time. Let's have a look at some of the bonus point magnets over the last 4 game weeks. So familiar names again. Lots of Chelsea names. Tomori's there. Vardy obviously getting those shots away, and in goal, Foster's ticking away. Matt Ryan, he's intriguing as well, especially because Brighton have got some single or low amount of match taking places on a particular day. But yeah, who out of the kind of current bonus stars are you interested in?
I mean, Tomori's there every week, and he'll continue to be there every week, I think. So he's the standout again. Vardy is really good to see the fact he's now getting shots on target bonus, because before he was maybe getting one shot on target, scoring, getting the goal. He was still getting an assist, man of the match, you name it, to go alongside it. But now he's adding consistently shots on target to it. That's great. That's exactly what you want. Because if he does blank, you've probably got a good chance of recuperating something as your captain. So yeah, he's obviously the second one that stands out. And the keepers, yeah, they're interesting, but I think because of the way the points are set up, the keepers, they dip in and out all the time. It's not often consistent. It comes down to the individual matches they're playing. And, next week you might see Foster and Ryan have dipped out, and you'll have a couple of other goalkeepers that will pop in. So Jorginho, as ever, he's there. He's only actually played 3 games rather than 4 compared to the rest, and he's still high up there. So if he'd have played that other game, I'd expect to see him second, probably behind Kovacic. So he's also a consideration, considering how poor midfielders' picks are in Sky. So
if you have some spare money, if you've got mounts, there could be some avenues there to go for a more reliable starter and a more reliable, because Jorginho was suspended for one of those games, so take it as a reliable starter, and if he's getting those bonus, and if he gets a penalty as well, very very nice. There's a chance of a man of the match if that takes place as well.
Yeah.
We've had some questions from the community. which relate to some of those players that we've already mentioned as well. So FPL Liam, I think echoes what a lot of us thinking about Spurs assets. Their fixtures get much better over Christmas, and as you said, there's certain days where they're the best captaincy. But should we be looking to bring in Kane, he asks, and if so, when? So yeah, with Spurs assets, which ones are you interested in, and when is the time to get them?
For me, I've written down on my, and it's annoying that we have to do it on this day, but I've written down the 15th of December as the time I'm going to switch. And I'll tell you what, it's annoying because they both play on the same day, so I'm not getting that extra player, which is obviously what you ideally want.
Yeah.
However, on that day at the moment, if you look at the teams that are playing, you've got Man United at home to Everton, so not many people have got any players from either of those teams. Obviously, if you're Rashford, then fair enough. You've got Wolves versus Spurs. I don't have anyone from either of them at the moment. And then you've got Arsenal versus Man City. So you could argue you could pick a Man City captain in that game and just crack on. But I wouldn't want to go with Aubameyang against Man City. So I think to myself, well, I could just switch to Kane for the Wolves game, which is probably a better fixture overall. And then moving on from that point, I think Spurs are just a better pick than Arsenal for their games and individual days from that point onwards. So a lot of better ties. So that's one I've penciled down. Good. There probably is another place if you look forward whether we are playing on different days. So I think the 7th of December, which is next week, Spurs play first. So you could kind of play it before the week started. It might make you feel better, but you're in the same situation. You're still trading a player for a player on the day and not getting that extra guy. So it's quite tricky as to when you do it.
Yeah, I've thought about Mane out when Liverpool miss that fixture. And their fixtures get slightly tougher, and I think Kane might be better, but that's a potentially very risky move, especially because Mane is wonderful, he hasn't done anything wrong.
It is, but I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot. You also get a 4-1 over him. So on the 14th of December, if you take Mane out, they're at home to Watford. So after Mane's played, you then bring in Kane for the 15th of December against that Wolves team, like I said. So you got him there, and then they don't play next week, Liverpool. So you'll have Spurs against Chelsea the week after. Then you got Spurs at home to Brighton as well, and then Mane comes back in. So if you're tying that with a captain pick, then it's a 4-1, or you can ignore the one game, which is the other option for. So Liverpool play away to Leicester. You don't have Mane for that, and it's obviously a tough game.
Yeah.
So you're probably not too worried about that. And then again, Spurs will play on the Saturday the 28th, and then Liverpool come in on the 29th. So it's a real 4-1 with Norwich involved in there for Spurs and everything. So it is a really good option, I think.
I'm glad you said that because that's sort of. I don't have a big spreadsheet on my wall about it, but I have vague plans in my head, and that was one I noticed with Mane and Kane. I just think that looks a potential move. Obviously, I think those with Aubameyang as well. That could be a good time for getting Kane in.
Definitely, and you only miss away to Leicester for Mane. So we know he could do well, but the way Leicester have been playing, you'd expect that he wouldn't get too many points in that game.
For those with a few transfers to spare, it might be a good move to get in a player that is good for a few weeks and then is going to simply be replaced in that team. And that man could be Jesus. Aguero is injured. DJ Newton asks, is Jesus worth a punt for the next 3 game weeks? What do you think?
I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm just going to say no. Okay. I don't think he is. At least with FPL, you're obviously getting that free transfer every week, and you've always got the option to take -4s if you want. With Sky, they're so valuable. So you're basically booking in 2 here. I mean, we don't really know when Aguero is going to be back, but when he is, it's going to cause you an issue. And then you will be in that point where, do you want to make the sideways move? When do you take him out? When's he suddenly going to not appear in the starting lineup? So it's going to cause you problems later down the line. So it'd have to be really, really lucrative games and potential for me to even consider it. And although their 2 games are okay, they're pretty good. City haven't been really at the races. So for me, I would just stick. I mean, why not go Sterling? Because at least you know he's going to continue to play. So if you haven't got him, I'd just go for him. Of course, Jesus is a great player. He's playing up front for Man City. He could do well, but it's too much risk for me and too many transfers ultimately.
I've got 28 transfers left, so not a lot to spare. If I had say 33 for some reason, and I'd got lucky with my team so far, didn't need many transfers, I'd probably give it a go because it's something a bit different. But as you said, Sterling's there knocking around. And I've got KDB. Why not? Especially for the home games. And he's a great player, can score against anyone.
How long is Bernardo Silva out for? Sorry, I'm not
I
sure.
think it was only. Well, I think he got just a slap on the wrist or something. I don't think he got.
Okay. Because I mean, that would really interest me if he was out for the next two games, for example. Then Mahrez, obviously being a midfielder, the Sky midfielders are awful, and he's got such a good record when he actually plays. That's the kind of punt that I might be interested in. But if Bilba's back, then unfortunately we've got to ignore it.
So sensible pick. No to Jesus. Paul McNulty asks, is Lucas Moura going under the radar? A midfielder. So they're quite rare in Sky these days, because we always talk about forwards and defenders. A midfielder who scores. Could KDB to Moura work out? So there's an intriguing option there for those with KDB. Easy move. What do you think?
Yeah, and Paul McNulty's absolutely flying this season. I think he's maybe in and around the top 100 or something. So he obviously has an eye on this guy for a reason, and we should probably take note. Yes, I do like that. But it's just whether he's playing or not. That's all it is. I don't quite have enough information yet to say that he is, and the fact that we don't have a bench worries me. So if it looks like he is first choice, or you believe he's first choice and he's going to play, then I can't really argue with it. So
I think we'll know more after this weekend. Again, look at that Bournemouth lineup, because I think we're all still slightly in the Pochettino mindset of look, Moura is just simply not nailed on. But Mourinho does like him. He has tried to sign him for other clubs before, and he's and Moura has said that he's already praised Mourinho, saying at last I'm playing out on the wing. So he is being a midfielder who can shoot. So.
My problem with this is that Dele Alli seems like he's going to be playing number 10. Kane's up top, and then you've got Son on one of the wings. Then you've obviously got Lucas Moura, who seems to start, and Eriksen's got this contract issue. However, Eriksen was brought on the 29th minute, wasn't he, at midweek?
Yeah.
And he's obviously a fantastic player. So it's how the Eriksen situation is going to affect him that worries me. At the moment, I don't think I've got enough information to commit. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. It's a slight wait and see. I tell you what, part of me's thinking, this is in Sky and FPL, in fact, any format. I'm starting to wonder if Kane is in fact the best option, because Mourinho wants him to be where he should be, playing as a striker. And
I think he probably is.
I think he is, especially in Sky.
I think there's certainly a case for Son, because he's 1.5 million less than Kane. But given it's the Christmas period where Son, I know it's now under a different manager, but historically he's nearly always got subbed off early-ish in games, because he plays with such a high intensity. Whereas Kane's just that 90-minute man. So you factor in pens and stuff, and it seems like the safer option.
Yeah, no,
to go with Kane.
I agree. Here's another name. So Zaha. So Robert Hunt is amongst those asking, is Zaha worth getting in? So Palace have great fixtures all over winter. And of course they play down the line. They play, I've got it written down somewhere, game week 19 I think it is. There's a single match day with Brighton. So Palace against Brighton. Zaha, as a Brighton fan, Zaha really does score quite a lot against Brighton. Brighton have historically not been able to deal with him, and I'm not sure Potter's gang can either. But what do we think? I mean, a bit of a differential, bit of a second team player. But yeah, what do you think, Zaha?
I mean, I said last week I'm all for taking punts in midfield, because I don't think we've got that many options. So I do actually like that, because the games are so good.
Yeah.
And in the past, Zaha has been a darling of Sky. He's racked up those man of the matches for fun. However, they are obviously 3 points now rather than 5, so it's not quite as useful. Let's be honest, he's not been great points wise or player wise this season. However, the past doesn't necessarily dictate the future, and those games are so good. His price is a lot, but I've got loads of money floating around, so it's a differential over a period of good fixtures, and they're the kind of things that can make you jump up the league quite a lot if you get lucky on them.
Yeah, and I was also going to say along the same theme as well with Palace, begrudgingly I have to admit they are the glue that unlocks these fixtures over winter, because they're one of the few teams that are just really good all the way through. Milivojevic could be an option there. Especially with the possibility of some bonus there, and he's on penalties. Obviously, that's what he's famous for. And Patrick Van Arnholt for the devil may care risk takers there. I think could be quite a nice tidy option as well. We know he's got about 5 or 6 goals a season in him. So
Yeah, definitely. And the only other one I'd mention is the keeper, Guita.
yeah,
Because Pope's games go really bad, and he actually covers a covers a captain day as well. If you don't want to kind of risk it on an outfield player, you could kind of just bring in the goalkeeper for their good games up until overhaul, pretty much. So that's another option I'm looking at.
yeah. So I mean, for me as a Pope owner, Guita instead of Henderson, that could be perhaps a better option.
Yeah, I've penciled it down for myself, so we'll see.
Okay, well, I'll copy that because you do better than me. Let's have a look at your team, see how you're doing. Okay, so you've got Alisson, you've got that Liverpool defence racked up there. Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Sionchu, Gilbert, and then De Bruyne, Mount, McGinn, and then up front, Aubameyang, Sterling, and Mane. You've mentioned all of those, and we mentioned the captaincy picks there. So for that lineup there, you mentioned some of the potential moves as well. So who, firstly, kind of where are you in the rankings? How many transfers have you got left, and what are your sort of plans with that lot?
I don't even know where I am in the rankings. Where I'm around 5k.
Mm-hmm.
I've been steadily dropping down because my team is a victim of a few things. I mean, it's on the screen there, I assume. So the triple Liverpool defence is obviously hurting me nearly every week. I feel like they're going to, I just needed them to come in a couple of times and I'd be so much higher up the ranking. So they've been an issue. That's where I've invested a lot of money. And then you obviously look at my front line where I've had Aubameyang and Sterling who have really toiled. Again, a lot of money put into those two players who have not been returning at all. And then the sort of glue that puts my team together in McGinn, Mount, Gilbert and people, they've also, Gilbert served his purpose at the week, although I ended up captaining McGinn because I obviously have the better pick on paper, who then returned 2 points since he's had his role changed and Grealish has gone further forward and McGinn's dropped back. He's not been the same player really. So I've got issues in my team. Mount, McGinn, Aubameyang, Sterling, triple Liverpool defence, Gilbert. I'm not happy with any of it really. Okay. So
you could do with an overhaul I think.
It could do with an overhaul now, definitely. Again, it's just the timing of when to change these people though. Liverpool at home to Brighton, I'd say is probably the best chance they've had all season for getting this clean sheet.
Surely.
Yeah, and that's where I've got a lot of money tied up. So any moves that I need to make, and I already mentioned I'm not going to be taking Aubameyang out now just because I've held on this long for the single match days. It's either remove Sterling, who's going to be playing Newcastle and Burnley, which doesn't seem like a good idea, or take out Liverpool defenders, which also doesn't feel like a good idea. So no. I'm after some advice from you, Joe. What do you think I should do?
I think follow your own advice that you've been giving because you've been talking about some of the potential moves there, and I think I see players you want to remove as a good thing. It's not so you want to keep Liverpool players for the Brighton game, obviously, but then you're looking at McGinn, you're looking at Mount, you're looking at a lot of those players, and Aubameyang. You've got question marks over loads of them, and even Villa's fixtures aren't good for a while. There's a possibility you could even downgrade one of those Liverpool defenders after they play Brighton. I think you're actually in a lucky position because you've got lots of flexibility. You've got players you want to get rid, and you've just mentioned loads of players you're quite interested in, and you know the times you want to bring them in. There you go.
Yeah.
Follow your advice.
I got Vardy, Kane, Guita, all on the list. I got Tomori on the list. It's in the pipeline. It's just when and where to move. And obviously this Liverpool Brighton game, I'm going to have to see it through, I think.
Yeah. No, I think I would as well because potentially, so you've got to go for these. We know playing Sky, there's those games where you get like triple up in defence, and it's those teams that are absolutely flying because very few people triple up on defence. And
the teams that are open in the top 100, if you look through them, because obviously you can lock your team in Sky so people can't see it. The vast majority of them are sat on 2 or 3 Leicester defenders at least, and that's been their key to just how well they've been doing recently. Is Pereira, Soyuncu, and even Kasper Schmeichel in goal is a good pick as well. So.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them. Let's have a look at my team. So, issues again. Slightly different issues, though. I've had a good game week. I went from 8,000 up to 3,000. So, very temporarily leapfrogged you. That won't last. But it was thanks really to that Gilbert 20 points. and Aubameyang out for Rashford for 20 points. So I feel quite comfortable about that. I've got 28 transfers left. Aubameyang has that single match day coming up, but I'm wondering if Lacazette, or just swerving Arsenal altogether while there's there's question marks over them. But yeah, I've got Pope back, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold. I still have faith in those two, especially with assists coming in. Sionchu, marvellous player. Gilbert, I could move him to Burn because Brighton's fixtures, they've certainly got some limited days, but I feel that's it's a sensible but slight luxury move. It just doesn't fill me with excitement.
Yeah, I mean, how many points are you going to get from that? I think it's either keep the transfer, or if you're restructuring and moving him out for a player of a completely different price, I think that's valid. But the Burn move, like you say, sensible. It could work. Yeah. It's on the edge.
It's on the edge. I've got Pope out for Ryan, Henderson, or Guita, as you pointed out. Very good. De Bruyne's there. I'm quite happy to move him on, but I'll keep him for now. Madison, happy with. Mount, he's got big question marks over him. And that McNulty, Paul McNulty's move to Mora, okay, because I've got about 2.9 in the bank. Anyway, we've got Vardy, Rashford, and Mane up front. Kane needs to come in, and as you pointed out, Mane to Kane could be the move there, and I keep Rashford because I think
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think Vardy and Rashford are just going to stay for a while. Down the line, maybe Maddison, Vardy is a bit too much, but these guys aren't doing anything wrong. So slightly different. I've got a different dilemma to you. I've still got to make those moves and those transfers, but up front, I kind of like what I've got. So it's gonna.
Yeah, I think your team's in a better position to mine. To be honest, I think when you get Kane in as well, if you're going to be having Kane, Rashford, Vardy, you've got 3 penalty takers up front there as well. Yeah. I mean, I really do like that. I think over Christmas, I base this on absolutely nothing, but I feel like we might see some more penalties over Christmas. The action's thick and fast. You've got tired legs all over the place. So sloppy decision making, etc. A lot of people have been on the WKD. So
yeah, indeed. And Christmas is Kane time. That is the time when he starts reeling out his hat tricks. Also towards the end of the season, that end of the season that still gets to me when I didn't have Kane and I ran out of transfers. Yeah. And he scored about 1 million goals.
I love him for that.
Oh, I hate him.
Save my team.
But for now, Luke, good luck with the game weeks that are coming up, and good luck with all those captaincy shouts. This is going to be a game changer in the rankings, I think. Those that get the captaincy.
There's going to be big swings. You're going to have people who's going to drop off. They're not going to. I mean, remembering deadlines in FPL is hard enough, but remembering them in Sky. We're checking team lineups and press conferences and everything. You'll see a lot of people slip down the list. And also, there's going to be, because you're just throwing the dice every time you throw an armband out there, there's going to be such varieties in scores, I would have thought.
Just before we go, just want to mention that Fantasy Football Scouts launched their rolling monthly membership scheme. That's £1.99 a month for the first month if you sign up before Monday, December the 2nd. So another date to remember there. And it rises to £2.99 a month for every month after. So yeah, get access to all of those lovely exclusive articles, stats, comparison tools, that type of thing. Also, we've launched an Instagram account that's been launched a couple of weeks now, but do check that out as we spread our wings across social media. But for now, Luke, thanks so much for joining me, and good luck with the zillion of game weeks we've got coming up.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe. It was a pleasure. Good luck yourself.
Goodbye.